The leaders of the biggest anti-establishment parties of Europe have gathered in Germany earlier today. Here are some of the ideas they expressed about how they see the future of the continent then.
We need to rethink and reshape Europe.
Patriotism is not the policy of the past, it's the policy of the future.
People are fed up with politically correct elites.
Charlotte Dubensky at the gathering for us asked a member of the Alternative for Germany party about the prospects for anti-establishment movements in Europe then.
This has been billed as a European counter-summit here in Koblenz, as meetings from anti-establishment parties have met here in the German city to find common ground and to see how they can perhaps support each other in this coming year of important elections in Europe. France, the Netherlands and Germany all go to the polls, and there is a good chance that some of the parties represented here today will do very well at those elections. Let's just take Marine Le Pen. She is the leader of the National Front in France, and the latest poll suggests that she is topping the first round at the presidential election with a 30% popularity vote at the moment. That would take her through to the second round. Or Geert Wilders, the leader of the PVV in the Netherlands, who could, if the polls are right, win that election with 32% majority popularity voting. And here in Germany, the AfD, a party which just a couple of years ago didn't exist, their leader, Frauke Perry, is receiving popularity votes of around 13%. So how do these parties explain their popularity?
Our leaders no longer guarantee the basic principles of European democracy. We don't believe the European Union is a leading power any longer. Why is the establishment not asking the people what they are worried about? We are not afraid to ask.
A big change is coming soon, as the European Union has become some kind of religion where no criticism or alternative is allowed. Germany has had an overwhelming flow of migrants, and Chancellor Merkel was so keen to accept them. Thousands were brought to the communities without their consent. How can they accept this? How can we accept increased unemployment and rising insecurity and terrorists coming in among the migrants?
Of course, we're also worried that we're going to be the victims of Islamic terrorism. If we do nothing, we will no longer exist. We now see success is possible, and we welcome the success of Donald Trump in America.
Well, these anti-establishment parties aren't popular with everyone, and there were protests outside in Koblenz on Friday night and again on Saturday as this meeting was taking place. Well, let's find out more about the reaction to those protests. My guest now is Joachim Pohl, who's from the AfD party here in Germany. Thank you very much for joining us. What would you say to the protesters who were here rising up against this meeting?
Well, the protesters were basically the SPD and other organizations which are connected to this leftist party, and so it was more or less a party demonstration against.
Trump was inaugurated as the 45th president of the United States yesterday. There were unprecedented protests across the United States. Do you envision that you will receive similar reactions here in Germany if the AfD does well in this year's elections?
Well, sure, because the establishment is now they are facing defeat, and they mobilize everything to stop us. And so there will be protests. We are used to protests, to demonstration. We are used to violence on the streets, and I guess this will increase, especially when we are successful on the federal level. We are populists. I don't think this is a negative term. We are addressing the people directly. Many people don't think that this mass immigration, policy of mass mass immigration, the policy of turning the policy of no borders whatsoever is false, and people are voting for us which are concerned about the future of this country. We have to see that a lot of these migrants are not coming from Syria. They're coming actually from Morocco, from Algeria, from Tunisia, from Egypt, and some of the countries are vacation countries, and they are coming for just economic reasons. For example, many Germans are spending their holidays in Tunisia, at the Tunisian coast. They don't have the right to be here. They are not there's no oppression in their countries, and they are more or less safe, and they have to go back home.
The meeting here hasn't ended. There's more discussions to be had between these anti-establishment parties about how they can work together in the coming months ahead of those elections in the Netherlands, in France and in Germany. And the overwhelming feel from the delegates here is that there is the end of the old politics and this is the dawn of a brand new politics.